What is up, everybody? It's your boy Bobby from Bobby's Breakdowns, and today we are coming at you with another Christmas movie review. I am reviewing the new movie that just came out last month called Spirited with Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds, and it was everything it was hyped up to be. Now, as you can see, I'm being festive again, and I am wearing a new Christmas sweater, which I have not worn yet. This is for the Green Power Ranger that sadly passed away last month. I just wanted to dedicate that to him, to Jason David Frank, my favorite Power Ranger of all time. But, yes, Spirited. Will Ferrell, Ryan Reynolds. Everything it was hyped up to be. So let's just dive right in. This is a Christmas Carol, but with a twist, and we'll see why. We start with Will Ferrell. We see he is the ghost of Christmas Present, and they are showing a woman at her tombstone who is apologizing for what she's done. So like the movies, and the books, and the TV shows, and everything. We see Mrs. Blonsky take part in a game of hockey on Christmas morning, and she's changed. And the whole thing is Will Ferrell and the other ghosts, they make sure they change, and they go to see if their work paid off. And it did in this case. Mrs. Blonsky was playing the game, and then we go into a musical to celebrate. A lot of those happened. Next, we see Jacob Marley and Present share a moment of success. We see next year's quest. Hello, Ryan Reynolds. He walks right through Marley and Present, just walks right through him. He doesn't see him, acknowledge him, anything. To the shock of Present, Ryan Reynolds, a.k.a. Clint Briggs, he's at the Vancouver Christmas tree growers meeting. The pitch turns into a musical. Like I said, more of that to come. Present wants to go after Briggs and he threatens to retire if they won't let him go after Briggs, because this is like the big one. They want to change this guy. There's a funny Marley moment when the spotlight turns on and he tries to stop the musical from happening. Very funny. So we go through the year process of what they do with Marley and Present and Future. We see how bad Clint is, not wanting to see his late sister's daughter, and Ryan Reynolds just doing Ryan Reynolds things, him being a comedian, all that. Then we meet Kimberly, Clint Briggs' assistant. We find out she can see Present. Not many can. Present tells Kimberly they are going to be hunting Briggs in a hilarious scene. And she's like, why? Why'd you tell me that? And he tries to backtrack and everything. Clint is seeing things and eventually sees Marley. Marley goes nuts and Briggs stops him just to confirm the plans. And Marley makes fun of the past movies and books and continues on the musical, of course. Briggs thinks the people who do the gender reveals are worse people than him. One of the funniest lines in the movie, he goes, so the murderers, racists, and the people that still take part in gender reveals, they're all worse than me? I started absolutely crying laughing at that scene. Briggs first meets the ghost of Christmas Past. Past and Briggs are flirting, because of course they are. Briggs is in his childhood home. He meets Present. Present haunted Colonel Sanders, because of course he did. We see Briggs didn't have the easiest Christmas. We see Christmas Past. Ryan Reynolds comes down the slide like a Christmas story. A lot of Christmas mentions. That's just one of the few. Present is getting annoyed with Briggs, because of course. Briggs gets fired and takes down the old lawyer. And Briggs told him, you're going to regret this. I'm taking all the clients with me. And yeah, he did. He brings Kim with him. And Past and Margot from HR are in love with Briggs, because every woman is in love with Ryan Reynolds in real life or in the movies. We then see Briggs in the hospital with his sister, and he's trying to run. He's trying to get away. But Briggs somehow gets into the warehouse of spirits. He sees it all. Everything. And yeah, we see a young Clint speaking to Scrooge, who is Christmas Present, in a wild turn of events. So many character changes in this movie. And the movie takes a wild turn with a lot of fighting and yelling. A wild musical breaks out with Briggs and Present. They pretty much go through Present's past. Marley sends Briggs back to bed. Briggs is back to normal. Present has to go by the book because Present broke a lot of rules. We see Clint's workers talking badly about him. Present and Kim flirt more. We see Kim and Present in the future. And then Briggs's niece posts a video of Josh working in a soup kitchen, making fun of the homeless, just so she can win class president. Then we go back in time and we see Clint Briggs' sister, Carrie, asking him to take care of Ren before she passes away. Clint wants nothing to do with it, and that's how Owen, their little brother, ends up taking care of Ren before Carrie sadly passes away. Then Present becomes a real person, functioning member of society. He yells he's going to shower once a month. Hilarious. They attend Briggs's Christmas party. Now, this next scene is... I started cracking up. They attend the Christmas party. They pass by a man who's dressed as Buddy the Elf. Yes, Buddy the Elf from the movie Elf. Will Ferrell just looks at him, and with the most serious face he can, he goes, "You look so stupid." And the guy who's dressed as Buddy the Elf gets so upset with him. One of the funniest scenes in the movie, hands down. Then Briggs meets Yet to Come, but hilariously tries to pawn somebody else off on them. So Yet to Come points, and Reynolds points at the guy next to him, says no, and he points at the other woman, he says no, and Reynolds is like, all right. And then, in a shocking turn of events, we see Josh has passed away. The kid that Ren posted the video of? Ren was trying to make plans for student council, and so many moving timelines in this movie. Yet to Come is chasing after Clint and can't catch his breath. Now, there's something about Tracy Morgan being the voice of Yet to Come that is just hilarious and so needed. But we see Briggs trying to stop the pass so Josh doesn't pass. Ren ended up not posting the video, and all is well. Josh is still alive, and all that good stuff. Clint saves Present from getting hit by a bus, and that clinches it for Clint. He's a good guy now. Their job is done, and Marley asks if they are going to do a musical, and eventually he just gives in and lets them go. Marley is just calmly eating chili while Clint ends up passing away. Briggs' sister tells Clint how proud she is of him, and then she starts taking him to the light while Marley is telling him to go as well. Then Clint takes over Present's spot and is the working man. That was the deal. There's a lot of moving timelines in this movie, I shall say. They go back, forward, a lot of different events that they see happen, didn't happen. If you don't like that, you probably won't like this movie. But it's pretty easy to keep up. So we see Clint and past are a thing in real life now, because of course. We see Will Ferrell yelling at his kids with Kim, and one of his kids runs towards Clint, and they go right through him and fall, and Clint goes, that never gets old. Then the movie ends with Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell trying to figure out the next case. And a musical breaks out, because of course. And that's the end of the movie. I enjoyed it. It was a good family film. I would recommend it. 7 out of 10. I could have done without some of the musicals, but I just wanted to highlight some of the funny parts. Will Ferrell has to take a taxi with Ryan Reynolds at one point in the movie. I left this out just to say it at the end, and there's a scene in the movie where a musical breaks out, and when they say good afternoon back in the 1800s, it's pretty much a modern day curse word. So they get out of the taxi. The taxi driver says, "Have a good afternoon." Will Ferrell goes back and he starts going after the guy. And he has to be restrained by Ryan Reynolds, and the taxi driver has no clue what's going on. But it's just a funny moment. And then at one point they're in the elevator and it's like they're talking about old movies. And Will Ferrell's like, "Oh, that tiny kid with the crutch." Ryan Reynolds goes, "Tiny Tim." He goes, No. He goes, "It's Micro Mike or Little Larry," something along those lines. He goes, "No, but it's not Tiny Tim." Just another hilarious moment. This movie had a lot of one-liners, and it was very funny. But that is my review of the new Christmas movie, Spirited. Boy, was it a doozy. But shout out to my parents for hanging these again. It makes these videos look really cool, especially for the season we're in. But otherwise, make sure you subscribe to my channel. That helps me out. Make sure you like the video. That really helps me out a lot. And until the next one, I'm Bobby from Bobby's Breakdowns. I'll see you in the next one. Later.